Hello there, good evening to you. Welcome. You're watching State of Affairs here on GHOne Television, and we're very happy that you've tuned in to GHOne Television this evening. On State of Affairs today, we want to talk to the National Women's Organizer of the National Democratic Congress. The NDC has been in the news recently for all kinds of reasons. In fact, tomorrow, there is a demonstration that they want to embark on because they believe that the EC's voters register that was compiled is not credible enough, and there needs to be a forensic audit. And if the EC does not heed to their demands, they are taken to the streets and they are going to demonstrate. The flag bearer of the NDC has been making the rounds within the Greater Accra region, doing his Greater Accra regional tour, and of course he's been talking about all the reasons why the National Democratic Congress is the party that you should consider for the 2024 elections, which is in just about 80 or so days. Also, the running mate to John Dramani Mahama, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has been doing her fair share of campaigning. And of course, anytime she gets onto a campaign platform, she takes the opportunity to tell the electorate that she meets that, hey, the NDC is the party that you should be voting for. And so today, we want to discuss some of these issues and more here on State of Affairs this evening. And we're very excited that the National Women's Organizer of the National Democratic Congress has joined us here in the studio in the person of the Honorable Hannah Bissiw. Good evening. Welcome.
There's a Kotei added to my name, and it's official.
There's a Kotei added to your name, and it's official.
It's official.
All right. So
that's my husband's.
The Honorable Hannah Bissiw-Kotei.
It's Hannah Louisa Bissiw-Kotei. Bissiw-Kotei.
Bissiw-Kotei.
Yes, please.
Thank you very much for that correction.
You're welcome.
It's great to see you here in the studio this evening, and I hope you're doing well.
God has shown me great mercies. I'm in my new season, so I have a new name.
Your new season, so you have a new name.
Yeah.
And what has it been like?
What has it been like?
Yeah, what has it been like?
The new name.
The new season.
The new season is season of victory and triumph. Season of greatness and progress. Victory. Progress.
Interesting. Is there any particular reason behind that?
Yes.
Or are there any series of events that have happened that is making you reach that?
Jesus.
You're a staunch Christian.
I don't compromise on that one.
I see. So how much credit do you give to God, or do you give to Jesus for where you are?
Everything. It's 100. I tell people that I'm the 3G lady. I remember I went to Hudson Valley Community College in Albany, New York, and to give a talk, and I told them I'm the 3G lady, and I explained. When I finished, I had all this. I became a celebrity among all these white folks.
For being the 3G lady.
Yeah, because I told them, God picked me from the gutters. He cleaned me up. He brought me to grass, and He moved me to grace. I'm not the one who was on the light from grass to grace. No, I'm from the gutters to grass to grace.
So that's the first G.
That's the first G is the gutters, the second G is the grass, and the third G is the grace. And so for me, I owe everything that I have. I am everything. If you mention the name Hannah Louisa Bissiw first and then now Kotei, and it means anything to you, the glory is to God. Zero. Me, I'm nothing.
Nothing without God.
I'm zero. I'm useless without Him. That I will say it any day, any time. And as a politician, those who know me will tell you, if I'm going for an election, don't come close to me with anything that is not God. I'll add foolish to your name. Yeah, because God cannot create me and then you expect that is something somewhere that you believe exists. It's what is going to make me live. He didn't do anything to me for me to be a human being. It's God, it's Jesus. So I prefer to be a cleaner in the house, in the kingdom of God, than to be a president in the devil's kingdom. So I don't care.
So you're talking about your Christian values, your Christian principles. There are a lot of people who believe that politics and Christianity don't mix very well because politics, quote unquote, is a dirty game, and there are all kinds of things that go on, and all kinds of things that politicians do that is bad. And so you cannot be a good Christian and be a politician.
In fact, in the Bible, there were politicians who were leaders. And so in the Bible, it is said that when the righteous rule, the city or the people, you're happy. But when the wicked rules, then you have all kind of manner of things happening that makes you unhappy. So I don't see why people will say that politicians cannot be Christians. I can't speak for any other person, but
so they can be good Christians.
Who made
they only
them
pretend to be Christian, but they are not very good Christians because of all the
who made them the judges over anybody? That is the thing when it comes to Christianity. And also, what do you determine bad? So what do you determine bad when it comes to Christianity? I'm sitting here. Don't tell me that because when we have to debate, I would speak my mind. I mean, that is me. I can speak for Hannah Bissiw-Kotei. I can't speak for the other person. I can speak for my leadership because I've followed my leader enough and I know him. I cannot speak for somebody I don't know. One thing that I know is that whatever I do, I have God in focus. And I don't fear human beings. I fear God. I respect human beings. And so I will not compromise a truth simply because you have no mechanical. You can't kill me. Because in any case, the Bible says I should not be afraid of you who can take my body, but rather the one who can take my soul. That is why I tell our pastors that they should not get compromised, caught in this thing. Be fearless as a man of God and speak your mind. That make God happy and make the human being unhappy. In any case, they are at the end of the day. What will you say to God? That you are trying to please a mortal being over him. So for me, whatever anybody thinks or says, what I discuss with my father is between me and my dad.
Okay.
One thing that I know is that Hannah Bissiw is useless. As Hannah Bissiw-Kotei is useless without God.
That's some inspiration there. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will take inspiration from that. But before we get into the rest of the conversation, can you believe it's already been 15 years since Momo was launched in Ghana? And that's why the Momo at 15 rewards, it's here. Amazing cash prizes are abounding. And it's all in a bid to say thank you. Send money to an MTN Momo user or make payments to an MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever, only on MTN. Download the My Momo app on your phone and keep transacting and win some cash. There is up to 450,000 Ghana cedis, which is up for grabs for 165 lucky winners. And you too can be one of them. Just Momo it everywhere you go, and know that this offer runs from now till November. Remember also that terms and conditions apply. MTN is everywhere you go. This is State of Affairs here on GHOne Television, and my guest in the studio is a National Women's Organizer of the NDC, Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw-Kotei. Kotei.
K-O-T-E-I.
From Bubuashi. Okay. Thank you once again for the correction. So this is your second term as Women's Organizer of the NDC. And this particular term, we are going into a very crucial election. So from where you sit as National Women's Organizer, gone for a second term, what have you done so far in terms of contributing and bringing the women on board to make sure that your party comes into power?
Well, a lot has been done, and we've done a lot of internal organization and done a lot of grants work as women, done a lot of training for regions. The regions done their constituencies. We've been all over putting things in place and working. And so we are in shape. We're on the ground, so we are working. And more so now we have a female candidate. I mean, as a running mate. And so we are working very hard, leaving no stone unturned. The only thing is that the details of our strategies we can't put out. But I can tell you that my women, right from region, I'll take myself and my 2 deputies out. Right from region through to the branches. They are doing marvelously well. They've been trained. We've organized ourselves. We've been trained and organized and done all the mini structures that we need to have to make sure that every small territory has a leader who will work and make sure that those living within that small territory under her leadership, we will win as many souls as possible.
You mentioned that, I mean, you have a woman vice presidential candidate, right?
In fact, she's a vice president.
Okay. Well, December 7 will tell.
She's a vice president.
For now, woman vice presidential
the one that we have,
right.
The one that we have said she's not been a vice president for 7 months, 7 years, and so
well,
for me.
So vice, you say she's a vice president already. The people of Ghana will decide on December 7. But how significant or how impactful has a nomination been, or how impactful do you think it's going to be? How significant is it for the NDC to have a woman as a vice presidential candidate?
In the first place, we have more women in this country than men. And I keep telling people, when you say this is the first time, they say, oh, some party had a woman. So I tell them that my mother, Yabanso, can actually form a political party, and these days that political party formation is for sale, or it's like don't call me. She can just say she's forming Yabanso party and she'll be a presidential candidate, but we know that in 1,000 years she'll never be a president of this country. Now there are only 2 political parties in this country that form government. That is the NDC and the MPP. At
least since the 4th Republic. There have only been.
You can say so about the United States, whether you like it or yes. It's either Democrats or Republicans. It doesn't matter where you started, but you know the trend, and you know that these 2 parties will forever stand. Go to the UK. It's either Labour or Conservative. We have all the small parties.
So is it I don't regard the other parties?
No, not that we don't regard.
Do you think they are wasting their time contesting?
No, I wouldn't say somebody's wasting his or her time. But it doesn't also mean that the fact that you're not wasting your time does not mean that you're going to be a president. What I'm trying to say is that the only time you can consider that a woman has been nominated or elected to either be a running mate or a presidential candidate is when a major political party, like the Democrats in the United States, Kamala came, she became vice president, and today she's their presidential candidate.
Yeah.
It could have been any small party in the United States and she would have never gotten to where she is today. That is a fact. And so when you come together, the 2 major political parties is the NDC that has shown that as a political party we respect the majority of Ghanaians who are women, and also to give that room, that door to be open, and to encourage all women, especially the girl child who is in school, know that yes, we've come very far as a nation. And so this is a political party that gives recognition to women, that says that, look, we respect you. Look at the NDC. First NCC chairman, woman. It was NDC that was the first minister for justice and attorney general was a woman. The NDC, the first chairman of the, and so far, the only so far, of the Council of State, Honorable Sila Johnson, it was the NDC. The first chairperson for Electoral Commission, Saloto said, was the NDC. The first Speaker of Parliament for the Republic of Ghana, Right Honorable Joyce Bamford was also, was also from NDC. So you see the trend. Okay, and so with our running mate, how impactful is we are getting a lot of women groups coming on board to support us because of her candidature as a running.
So you say Nana Jane is making an impact with her campaigning, making a real impact. Is she able to draw the women, from all walks of life?
It's not just her. She is the candidate. We are all together with her, working at various levels to draw the women, and of course, when I stand anywhere to speak, I'm not the running mate, she's the running mate.
Yeah.
And so when I speak to women, they are convinced and they are encouraged and energized because of her as a running mate. And so her presence and her selection or her appointment or nomination, how you put it, as a running mate is bringing a lot of women groups on board. Yes.
So you believe that a lot of women will rally behind the NDC because
they are rallying behind the NDC.
You are seeing the evidence.
Oh yes, yeah. We are on the ground. We are working. They are rallying behind us. They are. They are. And if we had women vote and men vote, you see that a lot of women will vote for us.
So what does the NDC have for women? What does the NDC?
The NDC has a lot for women, and I always say that when you even talk about women, when you talk about the youth, you are talking about women. The NDC, first of all, is going to put measures in place to make sure that a girl child who in a certain period of the month does not attend school because of a menstrual period, the NDC is going back to give free sanitary pad so that these girls will be able to attend classes. And of course, the double trick system that the MPP has, with the sport traffic light, which has green and gold without red, and President Mahama will now make it as it used to be, where all the students will go once and come, of course. But
in the NDC will abolish the double track system.
Obviously.
But this government will say they are gradually doing away with the double track system anyway. And it was a stopgap measure, and it has been effective.
That is reckless. That is reckless. That is irresponsible. That is wicked. That is mean.
How?
They are very wicked. No, so because
under the circumstance.
Under which circumstance?
Under the circumstance.
Circumstance of irresponsibility, recklessness.
Huge intake.
What was the huge intake?
Students into senior high schools and the infrastructure. And so at that point in time, the double track system, according to the MPP, was the best way to go. And it even
I'm happy that
And now they are facing
they are liars.
They are putting up
they are liars.
Hostels,
they are liars. They are liars. They are liars. And I'm saying I'm saying so to start with. When you come to the free education, and I wish you could get any of your guys at the studio to fact check. Okay, they did not start. Let's get this thing straight. Now, it's not anybody's idea. The NPPs, they were not part of the part of the constitution when it was being framed. The framers of a constitution saw that one day we need to get here. So in the constitution said there should be availability, accessibility, and gradual. Okay, so what is the availability? No poultry farmer goes and procures their old chicks before they build their houses. That'd be stupid. And so what the NDC did, what President Mahama did, was to make sure that per the constitution, the schools should be available.
So that's what you call the progressively free.
That is what, no.
The progressively free. That's what the NDC was doing.
No. These three things were in. They are still in the constitution. It's availability,
yes,
accessibility.
Yes.
So anytime a school was built, a bus was given, so that the bus will now create that accessibility to the neighbor communities to come. It was community day to start with, and it was piloted in certain districts. In fact, 2017 budget, I'll not be able to tell the exact page or clause right now, but I'm sure that when you go in and you check, it will be there. It was this Napoman who was the education minister then. It was in that government still owed some of the teachers who were used to pilot the free education under President Mahama the allowance. So something was being done.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a Cuban trained and I'm a full-time free education person. And this is how any prudent government that means well for the people would do. Now, infrastructures were being built. When they came, they did not heed to advice because they made a funny promise. So you come and without any form of studies, research, nothing, damn the John Mahama infrastructures that were not completed in the bush, and decided to put our students recklessly in classrooms and wherever, where parents had to now rent for their girl child, and it has brought a lot of teenage pregnancies in this country. And so for me, when you talk about them, and if anybody says teacher student contact time has increased, the person is a liar. How will you compare a student staying in school 3 months, going home maybe 1 month or 1.5 months, to a student staying in school 1.5 months and going to stay home 3 months? How will you compare that and say that the 1.5 months is better? And now you even started taxing the period of women, and so there are some girls, and if you don't roam like some of us, you don't know. Those who use racks and because of that do not go to school at a certain point. You will know also that some districts, somewhere in one of the regions, because I don't want any stigmatization or name calling, they were doing sex for sanitary pad, so they were getting pregnant. This is an issue that people just overlook. But we want to increase the girl child. We want to boost women education. We want to empower women academically. Now, and this,
so you don't think that free SHS has done that, has done enough, to empower more girls?
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
Because they would have had to pay school fees, wouldn't have been able to access education.
Go
now
and
they
ask.
pay school
No, go
fees,
and ask.
and
We were not
education.
doing that anyway. Back then the situation was free. So let's face these things.
But people had to pay boarding fees.
No. What I'm saying that
completely free.
It wasn't complete, but tuition was free. Okay. Now ask the parents. What are you telling me? When I have to go and rent a place, is it the government who pays for the rent for the parents? When our children come to stay home 3 months, you government, you can't keep them 3 months in school. You keep them only 1.5 months. You bring them to me 3 months. Who pays for the extra classes? Who pays for when they are home? Who pays? Some of these young guys, they get into all manner of things out of frustration. Some of these young girls, they do all manner of things. When your child is placed in a rented home, who controls the child? Who takes care of that child? So let's face it. You see, I've said this thing. We can sit here and discuss today, but there's something that you and I, we can't change. Nobody has bargained with God to pause time for Ghana. If we have not bargained and we are on the same time frame as the rest of the world, then this government has actually crucified the education of our children.
All right. You're still watching State of Affairs here on GHOne Television. We'll take a short break here. When we return, there's more with this conversation coming up. Stay tuned. Vision. This evening, we're having a conversation with Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw-Kotei. She's a national women's organizer of the NDC, and we've been talking about the NDC and what they have for women. Of course, she's been talking about the free SHS policy and how it has not been necessarily beneficial to the girl child, per her estimation. But before we get into the rest of the conversation, it's been 15 years since Momo was launched in Ghana. And that's why the Momo at 15 rewards is here with amazing cash prizes to say thank you. So send money to an MTN Momo user or make payments to an MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever, only on MTN. Download the My Momo app on your phone, keep transacting and win some cash. There is up to 450,000 Ghana cedis which is up for grabs for 165 lucky winners, and you could be one of them. So just Momo it everywhere you go. This of all runs from now till November. Do remember that terms and conditions apply. Now, getting back to our conversation, Honorable Bissiw. So
Bissiw-Kotei. Now, when you say the Bissiw, add the Kotei, please.
Okay.
Because it's official.
It's official. So Bissiw-Kotei.
Yeah, it's been gazetted, so I want to make sure that I do the right thing.
All right. Understood. So you've talked about what the NDC wants to do with regard to provision of sanitary
free
pads,
sanitary pads,
making sure that you improve the free SHS so that it's more beneficial to the girl child.
Yeah, it's more beneficial
so
to
what are the other things for women?
Exactly. So when it comes to agriculture, government, President John Dramani Mahamad's government will now also put measures in place to boost industrialization and get land banks for women, so that women in agribusiness can also get, many processing plants and then improve on the agriculture producer. I'll get into that. Now, that's one thing that when you go around, the women will tell you they are very happy and grateful for. One, anytime you walk in the markets, I'll just go by the roadside and talk to a lot of these women, either hawking or selling by the, roasting something by the roadside. Most of them, they are there to work and support the education of their children. I've met a young guy on the market selling smoked fish, and that's the mother. He's in his early 20s, and he said he passed. He had good grades. I didn't ask the grades, but the women said, "We chapa." So it's like the market. They know him and they sympathize with him, and said, "Bicycle or the best study." The money that they will use to pay for the university, I didn't really go into know where he applied and how he got it, but apparently he couldn't afford. Now, President Mahama is saying that that user fee or admission fee, whatever you need to pay the first year, the government is going to take care of that, so that students who pass will be able to now enter the first year. Now they'll be put on the student loan. To we as women and as mothers, it goes a long way to also help us, because now that huge burden is off us.
But with the student loan, the NPP will say they have improved the student's loan. Now you only need a Ghana card to go and get student's loan. There's improved accessibility to students' loans and all of that.
That student loan was there when they came to me. They just had the Med-Get Fund and the messed up Get Fund. Okay, but student loan, I think our 2020 manifesto was stated that we didn't need guarantors to go for the student loan, and not until you start working, you're not going to pay the student loan. But the most important thing here is that student loan was not established by the MPP. Yeah. It was met. Okay, so what? But
they say they've done away with the guarantor system. That's what they say.
It was going to be done away with anyway.
Yeah.
So that's
but the NDC could have done it, but under the NDC it was not done. And it's the MPP who they've done.
We were in the process of doing our things and we left government. So let's say this thing. Now, what I'm saying is that after that, the student will be on a student loan. Okay. So at least the first year thing, nightmare. That's let women, and women are very happy with that. Now, the other thing is the apprenticeship program for the youth. When you go around also, they will say, so they want these apprenticeship programs, and they can't afford, all the machineries that they will need, being it a girl child or the young man, they are all responsibilities of women. And women, we support a lot economically home. And so His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is going to put these young ones who are interested in any form of apprenticeship program. They'll be registered and they'll be placed in their various places of interest. They'll be given the needed equipment or machines to start, the apprenticeship program. But the best part of it is that President Mahama was doing it in his past administration. What we realized was that some of these young ones, obviously put them there, but the T&T to move from their house to their places where they are doing the apprenticeship program was a burden. So they'll end up not even finishing. So what he's going to do right now is that he'll be giving them some amount of allowance that will now help them transport themselves, and then they can feed themselves. When they graduate, they also give them, the machinery to start on their own. That is another. Now let's go to, women, it's 3 months maternity leave.
Yes.
And so it's not enough. We are even supposed to be breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months. And then give us only 3 months. Then we have to go back to work. So now it's going to change the Labor Act so that women will have a compulsory free, that's a 4 months paid leave when we deliver. That is another one. Now, I've spoken about the agriculture sector. Now, he's also realized that one of the things that is really troubling women is credit, access to credit, access to loans. First, we used to go to all these savings and loans. We had a lot of mini savings and loans. If you're like me, a village girl, I've come to the big city. Don't expect me to go to these Barclays. Miss Rumpo, I cannot even look at their coats and their suit and tie. But we're okay with the savings and loans. This government came and collapsed on indigenous banks, including about 400 or so savings and loans. So now women have been left with nothing. Then to add to it, you brought this e-levy, that the minimum that we have, that because of all this funny robbery we put on phone and we do phone transaction, you started taxing us. So the capital is gone. And when you go to the markets, they will tell you it's a car money that they've been swallowed up with, with debt. What is President Mahama going to do for us? What he's going to do, that I call it John Dramani Mahama's charity or NGO for the Ghanaian woman, is the Women Development Bank. Women Development Bank is a bank that he's going to establish, and every woman, Ghanaian woman, will have access to, depending on the amount you take, interest-free credit or some minimal, interest, depending on the amount that you take. But one thing stands out, that they're not going to ask any woman for collateral. They're going to ask you for land documents because we don't have the lands anyway. You understand that in agriculture, he said they're going to create land banks for the women. Okay, because we don't have access to lands. We don't have the houses. A lot of us, the houses belong to our husbands or our fathers. Okay, so we don't have the vehicles. The car we drive may belong to our husbands or some others. So I say it's no collateral. Now, when you go to the bank, and let's say, I remember the young lady who was dragged and humiliated in the bank when they were closing these small banks, and she went for her 100 cedis. I don't remember the bank, but I guess she was dragged, and it became a national issue. During an interview, she said her capital was 35 cedis. Okay, so such a woman, she can choose to go for 500 or 1,000 or 2,000.
Welcome back to State of Affairs here on GHOne Television. This evening we're having a conversation with Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw-Kotei. She's a National Women's Organizer of the NDC, and we've been talking about the NDC and what they have for women. Of course, she's been talking about the free SHS policy and how it has not been necessarily beneficial to the girl child, per her estimation. But before we get into the rest of the conversation, it's been 15 years since Momo was launched in Ghana. And that's why the Momo at 15 Rewards is here with amazing cash prizes to say thank you. So send money to an MTN Momo user or make payments to an MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever, only on MTN. Download the My Momo app on your phone, keep transacting and win some cash. There is up to 450,000
peace until you touch us. And at the same time, we are saying we want no peace, we want justice. And we are saying that what happened in 2020 will not happen to us again. Right now, we settle every matter at the polling center.
What happened in 2020? You believe that the NDC won the election?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, but you were not able to prove that.
No, I do. Let me say one thing.
Able to prove
Let me even forget about everything. I'll use.
So is this posturing? Is this posturing a good one, for the teaming supporters of the NDC in the event that the NDC does not win the election?
No, there's no event that will not win the election.
I mean, it could happen.
In the event that
the NDC does not win the election, is this posturing good? Isn't it a bit insightful?
What is insightful? What is more insightful?
Not to accept the election
what
results?
is more insightful? To get such a reckless statement from a certain president who supposedly came into office through a democratic palm. What is so insightful? More than that. What about what that Brian Champa also, whatever it is said? The kind of things they are saying. What is more than that? You think that we are going to sit down this time and allow them to squeeze our necks and you tell us don't scream, then we don't. If they stop squeezing us, we stop screaming. What we are saying is that what happened in 2020 will not happen again. Let me use Thanos South.
What happened in 2020?
No, let me use Thanos South for example. There was no collation in Thanos South. Zero. You see places where they said they collated and probably there were irregularities. I will move from what happened at even Konkomba line and all those places. And if any of them is hearing me. Okay, Konkomba line where 1A I had 349, my opponent had 47. When it came I had 88 on the polling on the pink sheet. And they gave him 66. Now let me go to where I voted. If you ask the one who he was the organizer then, I don't know whether he's still there. For the MPP, he was their polling agent. And you tell, Dr. Enya 260. Go look on the pink sheet. They gave me 160. You are the one who says they kept it. Now, we saw all those things because when it was getting to the villages, because of the dark nature, they gave solar lanterns. They went around and collected it. And they stormed my constituency with the military. Okay, and so
why didn't you protest?
No, that's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from. No, that's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming to. I just want to explain something to you and to your viewers so that people will not think that probably there was something. Let me now say this. When our lawyer, because every constituency had a lawyer, we wrote one that was signed by the lawyer, one that was signed by me, so that for recount. We sat at the collation center, the EC, and the madam, she's still there. And I challenged her to come out and challenge me. We sat there, and when we went to question them, 11 p.m., 12 midnight, what are you doing? The boxes never came to the collation center. Then we said, look, we have these letters. The woman said, you're doing administrative work. Then by 7 a.m., I had gone to the car to go charge my phone. The lawyer came and said, they brought some sheet that we should sign. I said, for the where? Who should sign? When we went in, the then commander at Thanos South, the police, he came with his men and pointed guns at us. And someone, if we do, they will spray us at the collation center. When
the police commander told you this?
Exactly.
Police commander for where?
Thanos South.
Thanos South.
Yes, you can go back and check. Now, the military
threatened to spray
yes,
you.
they came, they pointed guns at us. And then the EC woman said, we are not doing any collation here. Who they didn't. So the recounting, whatever, they packed everything at the EC office. Now, when people started storming the place with their tally cards and what they had as evidence to show that what you are giving us is what we had, then the military came in shooting. That meant that they would shoot into the soil and people would be running. So at one point I had to raise my hands and open and say, Commander, I'm the leader now, so you shoot me. You see, when you eliminate a leader, the supporters will go away. But if you kill one supporter, they will come in their numbers. I'm here defending, standing in for President Mahama, who is not here, for myself and for my NDC. And so if there's anybody to eliminate, shoot, point your gun at me. But these people are doing nothing but to come and say that there's something happening that is not normal. Fast forward, we took the case to court. And they were not presented, they were not even coming. They came once and they were charging them, the court thing.
Yeah.
But the next thing we realized, when they were about passing that, I think going to pass whatever, that they should bring the bosses to the court, blah, blah, blah. Then it's a Techiman court. The EC office of Tano South was burnt down. So we have to withdraw the case. Now, the intimidation.
So you believe the NDC won in Tano South?
Not that I believe we did. We did. I'm telling you this.
And your arm was twisted in one way or another so that you'll not be able to...
Not that I am. We were intimidated with guns. We were bullied. We were intimidated. What we are trying to say is that we are not going to sit down for that. That's why I'm telling the Peace Council that stop bothering us with this, your documents and your document. Stop bothering us. Now you talk to the government. When we're going to Iowa Swiss, we're going to do the same thing. You call us for a meeting, and I remember telling them at that meeting when you had all these security persons, I said, look, this English that you are here speaking, go to the president and go and say it to the president, because don't ask me, I'm not a security expert, but I have knows whether it's long or short, but I can smell bloodshed at Iowa West ago. What happened? At the end of the day, what did they do? 2020 elections, people died. The military shot people and killed them in this country. Our military is supposed to be defending us. They are not supposed to behave as if, autoimmune disease, where your antibodies start fighting the system that they are supposed to protect. So you militarize our elections, and then they use the gun, they kill Ghanaians, they twisted our arms, and then they just overturned the verdict of the people. So what you are saying in 2024 is that we don't have any court to go. We don't have any penny house to go and sit down and settle anything. We don't have any secret court, any magistrate court, any high court, any community court. We don't have any Supreme Court to go. We will settle every matter right there and then at the polling center. We shall settle it. And it shall be as the people determine.
Settle how?
No, whatever we don't understand shall be settled there. Everything shall be settled there. But now, let nobody touch us again. We will not touch anybody. But we be prepared to respond. The same measure with which you come at us, we shall come about 10 times. That you are not joking this time. I mean, we gave birth to this democratic dispensation we're enjoying now. We are the midwives of the Fourth Republic. We anytime we had to give power, we did. We can go for an elections and probably an NDC and NPP can get into a fight. Okay, that is different. But never have we seen the state weaponizing facts, criminals to arm them to the teeth for them to attack the citizens who are going to vote. What happened now was we're going to shameful and let nobody justify that. Let nobody. It seemed as if the Ghana was at war. Look at what happened. Blood was shed. And so what do we people want? So when we talk, you say, oh, Mufili said, no, you think that they will slap us this time when we sit down?
All right. The NDC also wants to go on a demonstration tomorrow, and we'll come back and talk about that. But you're still watching State of Affairs here on GHOne Television. We'll be right back. Hannah Louisa Bissiw-Kotei.
Thank you.
Is my guest in the studio this evening here on State of Affairs. And we've been talking about quite a number of issues concerning the NDC and, of course, the upcoming election. But we're reminding you that MTN Momo is 15 years. And that's why Momo at 15 is coming with so many amazing rewards and amazing cash prizes just to say thank you. Send money on MTN Momo or make payments to an MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever. Only on MTN. Download the My Momo app on your phone. Keep transacting. Win some cash. Up to 450,000 Ghana cedis is up for grabs for 165 lucky winners. And you could be one of those winners. So just Momo it everywhere you go. And this offer is running from now till November. Remember that terms and conditions apply. Doc, so demonstration tomorrow. The EC has said if you have any issues, come to the table, present your evidence, and they'll also, present the evidence of what they've done to clean the register so that you can find a very amicable solution to the issues that you have with the register. Why do you go on a demonstration? The demonstration is not going to deal with the issues that you have with the register. We have
dealt, you see, going into 2020 elections, you remember that we caught them pants down when they were secretly printing presidential ballots. And they pretended to have burned those ballots.
They didn't sanction that, and what they found, they disposed of.
Is that not?
That was not the doing of the EC.
Is the doing of the EC? Let's move away.
But has evidence been provided?
No, please. Let me say this. Any country that is peaceful is because we believe that every 4 years we have the chance to change government if we don't want. If we realize they've taken our rights from us, then it means that impunity has become the law. A resistance, trust me, shall be a communal labor for all of us. So let nobody joke. This is not about NDC, about MPP. This is about the peace of Ghana. This is about the democracy that we've all enjoyed today. So it shouldn't even be us alone talking. It shouldn't be the NDC speaking. We know very clear. And as I'm speaking, I know that journalists who are even at my constituency 2020, they know that they were sacked from the polling centers when they were given numbers as they saw them. They were sacked, and we know. So what happened? That it wasn't the doing of the EC, is it the doing of the NDC? Then Chairman Honorable Ampofo, or the then General Secretary Sedun Ketia, or me, Hannah Bissiw-Kotei, or President John Dramani Mahama was the doing of who? And how come that Kumasi alone, about 300,000 people voted only presidential, they never voted parliamentary? You see, let's stop the jokes. What we are trying to tell them right now is that we don't trust you. We want an audit. Simple. All the funny transfers, those who were transferred, because when you are transferred, your name should be on the absentee list. All those funny things we don't want to use in delivery ink. Now they want to use all the ups and downs. The only embarrassed, shameful EC chair is Jen Mensa. Even unit committees have gone too far. Our branch elections, nobody will announce twice. How many times did she announce election results in Ghana here? The first one was her results were more than 100% because the goods from her hometown, the dead bodies woke up and they were added. And we sit in this country and we laugh and you question those who question the injustice. And so for us, we say we want an audit. We don't trust them.
They say they dealt with the issues that you have.
Who dealt with
the issues of the transfers?
Who says what? And what did that? You transfer people.
They suspended one of the directors there.
Oh, they should stop their lies and their gimmicks.
I mean, they've dealt.
No, they should stop their gimmicks. We say we want an audit.
If you have evidence, present the evidence.
They should deal with it. Don't let me use the word nonsense. They should stop the nonsense, my dear, because you see, Ghana is about Ghana. It's about our future. It's about the democracy and the peace we enjoy. Let nobody joke this 2024 and think that we'll sit around for EC to fool around.
So how is the demonstration going to deal with the problems that you have?
Now, how how did any of the demonstrations that the president of this country touts as one of his so-called civil rights, whatever, how did he deal with issues? What makes anybody to think that Nanado and his group of gangs who are out there, they were justified? Where is Gabi Ochredako? Let me see. They are justified to have their demonstrate. Let my vote count. Let whatever. Look at the impunity with which they have abused the justice system of this country. The word justice doesn't exist anymore in Ghana. This is worse than a military government.
How?
No.
How?
Some of these things.
The justice delivery system been?
No. That is how it is. That is how it is. You see, when you twist my arms, when you use guns, and I've been saying that Nanado's government is a kudocracy. It's coup d'etat with the face of democracy. He was democratically elected. No. He used the gun. So it's legalization of gun.
He didn't use the gun.
He used the gun. People were killed, and he had that. And he was so insensitive to have said few regrettable deaths. Sir John died, and you defied your own rules that you have placed in this nation about COVID. And you stormed the place in your numbers because of the death of one person, regardless of who would have caught COVID that time. It means that a life matters. We sat in this country, and President Nanado and his government were there mourning George Floyd because police brutalized and killed him. Now you, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, the chairman of the National Security Council, you send your thugs and your criminals on us at Ayawasu. Nothing happened. Then
set up a committee to look into it.
What did they say? There's a white paper. That's why I said they should implement. What did they say? They bastardized it. They insulted them. Me, I was beaten. I remember one of your stations interviewed said, "Aren't you going to the police?" I said, "For what?" Somebody was shot. I am saying because when they were beating me, the car was moving, they opened the door. I had my seatbelt. So as they were dragging me out of the moving car, the seatbelt saved me. Okay. Yaro cannot play football anymore. His leg is destroyed. Mohammed Al-Hassan is paralyzed from the bullet that went through his back. People were mean. People were beaten. Now you bastardize our report. The Peace Council says they can't do anything about it. Okay, 2020 elections, you killed 14 years, you killed 18 years, the military, you kill people. These are military bullets. When they don't live in their homes with the guns, these are not illegal arms. You gave them those ammunition to go on the field, and you are still telling us you don't have anybody to prosecute. You went to a drug, you kill these young ones. Now you are saying that you are still you are not compensating with that prosecution. So now what we are saying is that the killings and all those things in 2020, it will happen in 2024. And let nobody call us to order. Call the government to order. It's the government that must be called to order. Because we will do nothing than to defend ourselves. We will do nothing than to defend the democracy in Ghana. Because what is happening in this country right now is either we are hypocrites, or we've all turned to cowards, or we are so afraid that they'll come after us, that people try to say that you're the one who is being oppressed. Even though our anthem says we should resist your oppressor's rule, you should shut up and continue to be oppressed. No, if Ghana has gone back to colonialism, then we shall fight for the second independence.
Is the EC oppressing you?
The government through the EC is doing so. Let me ask a very simple question to your viewers and anybody hearing out there. In the political history of Ghana, just tell me one time that national elections was announced twice. EC announced about 6-7 times. Even the first announcement was more than 100%. How come that when we're in court, the teacher who marked the script and said one student failed and one student passed, how come that she refused to appear to defend her markings? What we are saying is that we are working. We understand President Mahama is working. He's selling his 24-hour economy. Whether now put things he understands it or not, that is his own. But everybody knows the 24-hour economy is coming to create more jobs. It's one job, 3 different shifts, and it will bring high productivity and a lot of employment. A lot of our youth will also be trained into the security agencies so that they can help to secure businesses that will be operating at night through the 24-hour economy. President John Dramani Mahama is going to abolish the e-levy so that we can transact freely with Momo.
All right.
Momo is 15 years now. But what that we are saying to the world is that the NDC, we are for peace until they touch us. And we want more peace, we want justice. If there's anybody to be called to order, let the international community hear us. Call the government and the EC to order. We want an audit of the voters register. All or nothing.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw.
Yeah, and invite everybody, including you. You are invited to the demonstration tomorrow.
This is the demonstration. We'll be there to cover it, obviously. We'll be there with, our cameras to cover the demonstration. So, yeah, we'll be reporting on it. But thank you very much for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
It's been good having you here. Thank you.
It's been good. I'm going home to relax my legs and my and everything for tomorrow.
All right. So, this is where we'll end State of Affairs this evening here on GHOne Television. And we're grateful that you tuned in this evening here to watch State of Affairs. We encourage you to keep on watching GHOne Television. My guest has been Dr. Hannah Louisa Bissiw-Kotei.
Kotei from Bubuash. you know me, I came to look at the sea and in suspecting that maybe one day they may want to sack me from Accra, I decided to marry a guy. Listen, I love my husband.
This is State of Affairs. My name is Lantam Papanko. Have a good evening.